intelligence have changed the world.
Hello, and welcome back to the world of assassination and the featured contracts. And today's contract, give me that old-time religion, set in Sapienza. So on to today's briefing. Good afternoon, 47. It's Easter in Sapienza, and when the Archbishop arrived for the holiday service, he was shocked by how deeply secularism had taken root. A real Old Testament type, it seems he never got past all the smiting. Deeming the locals' faith to be as hollow as a chocolate bunny, he contracted us to put the fear of God back in the people the old-fashioned way, with fire and brimstone. After all, you have to break a few eggs to make rabbit stew. Happy Easter headhunting, 47. And today's contract has been supplied to us courtesy of Teddy Fillmore. So on to our targets, and we have 5 of them today, with no stipulations on what we wear whilst we dispatch them, although 2 must be eliminated with explosive devices, 1 in an explosion accident, 1 with a falling object, and 1 with the sniping rifle. So for today's challenge, we will be starting at the ICA safe house, where we will also have our Leviathan sniping rifle. We're going to be bringing with us the Seeker 1, a breaching charge, and an explosive Christmas gift, or any explosive duck that you can. So right from the start and off the bat, we're gonna go and pick up our sniping rifle, and our first few targets will be in the Caruso Villa. So we're gonna make our way up onto Rocco's balcony and steal his kitchen assistant outfit. And if we do this quickly enough, we won't have to worry about Rocco's sister walking past just where we're throwing our briefcase. She's currently berating her brother for being late for work. So once we've retrieved our briefcase, we are now in the Caruso Villa, and we're going to make our way around to the pool area, and we're just going to grab this rat poison in the kitchen on our way. That's going to come in handy. So we need to avoid the cameras. Now there's 1 to our right around the side of the building, and 1 just over our head. So if we go through that little alfresco dining area and over the wall, we can avoid the camera by going in through the window of Francesca's bathroom, through Francesca's apartment, and out into the rear garden, where we find the golf instructor. He's just taking a drink from his bottle of water, so we are going to have to wait for him to put his bottle down. It also means we're also going to have to wait for him to go through his entire routine before coming back to the bottle, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. We can move off while we're waiting and get a few other things done. So once the golf instructor moves away, we can add our rat poison to the bottle of water. And as I mentioned, he's going to be a little while, so we're going to move on and get ourselves our next target and another change of disguise. We also need a hand cannon of some sort, preferably silenced, but that is unlikely. So just on the far side of Francesca's room, we have a patrolling guard, and as soon as he turns his back, we can then make our way into the corridor, render him unconscious. We're going to hide him in the crate in Francesca's room, and then we're going to take his outfit, retrieve our sniping rifle, and grab his gun. Now I forget to grab his gun, and I do have to come back for it. I also forget my sniping rifle. Luckily I remembered that in time at the very least. So once we have the guard's outfit on, we're going to make our way up the stairs to the roof of the observatory. We're going to pull out our Leviathan sniping rifle, make our way up onto the roof, and from here we will have a shot at the hippie across town in the town hall. He's currently sitting away from the window playing guitar, but he will eventually stand up and move between the open window and the left side here. So all we have to do is shoot him if we can manage it quickly enough. So there we go. It was actually a headshot. I wasn't aiming for a headshot. So one target down. Once we've taken him out, we're going to grab this propane cylinder and we're going to put the propane cylinder in our briefcase, collect up our briefcase. We are going to have to lose our sniping rifle at this point, but it's not freelancer, we do get it back. So with that taken care of, our first target should be almost on his way over here, if not already on his way over here. So we're going to make our way into the observatory, grab the lab key card from the desk on the far side of the room, and just as we have done that, the golf instructor has finally arrived in Francesca's bathroom. Now he is the explosive kill. We're going to utilize our breaching charge for this gentleman, and once he's finished rolling around on the floor, we can place the breaching charge under his head and eliminate him. So we're just going to hide his body in the closet provided and collect up our propane cylinder in a briefcase, and we're going to make our way down into the bio labs downstairs. It's at this point I remember I'm going to need a gun, and I still haven't picked up that guard's gun. So what we're going to do once we have the gun, yep, this is it, I've just realised I don't have the gun. I need to run back upstairs and get it real quick before anyone comes along and finds it, although no one actually should. There we go. So this next kill is somewhat tricky. It is a one-off, well-timed shot, something I am not very good at. So I do have a backup plan. So our target is just down below us off to the left, and he is going to walk underneath the stalactite leading to the cubicle where the restroom and the surveillance system are, just below us to the left, to the right. There is our target now, making his way over. Now you have to time this absolutely perfectly, and unfortunately I'm a little early, so I have missed him. But as I said, I do have a backup plan. Now, as you may have guessed, this target is our falling object target, so we're just going to move away while everybody panics and then return to the area just in time for our target to be leaving the labs. Now he's going to head off up the tunnel to our left. We're going to render him unconscious, and we're going to drag him all the way to the observatory. It'd be nice if it had been an accident fall. We could have just thrown him over a ledge, but we do have to drop something on him, and we're going to drop something monumental on him. In fact, we're going to drop the sky on him. So we're going to drag him all the way up to the observatory area just as Silvio Caruso arrives. So we are going to have to wait for him and his goons to leave. And once they are safely clear of the observatory, we can then drag our victim into the center of the room, and we're going to drop the sun right on his head, hopefully. This is not an exact science, and we're going to be using a loud weapon, so we want to be nice and ready to run away, and down comes the solar system. So that's 3 of our targets now dealt with. Now we need to make our way back down into the labs and retrieve our propane cylinder. We have 2 more targets left, and both must be killed in explosions, although one must be an accident. So somewhere around here we will have our briefcase. Where's it gone? Ah, there it is. We must have dragged it a little way. So once we have our briefcase in hand, we now have a long journey ahead of us. We are about to make our way all the way down to the seafront and down to the pier at the far end. Now, I know there is a shorter route than the one I'm taking. This is just the safer route. We could go and get ourselves a key card and go down through the villa and out onto the promenade area. But this is the safer route with less things to do, like collecting up key cards and avoiding enforcers. So it is the longer version, but we will get there without running into any sort of trouble. So once we get all the way down to the final pier, or the large pier, we will find two gentlemen fishing, or at least one fishing and one chatting, and the chatting is important. So we're just going to place our explosive device on the floor behind them. Now, I've picked the Christmas gift because NPCs ignore it. If you use a duck, the NPCs tend to pick them up. So once that critical conversation has finished, the gentleman in the yellow baseball cap will walk away. We're going to let him get a nice safe distance away before we trigger our explosive. So again, the advantages to using the Christmas gift unlockable is that everybody ignores it until it goes off. That was quite an impressive dive. So 4 targets taken care of, we now need to make our way over to the church, just avoiding this enforcer along the way, and we're going to make our way round to the rear of the church, and we're going to let one of the church employees let us into the building. So we're just going to hang around at the back door here. We've timed this actually quite well, as the employee has just left the building. So we're just going to hold the door open before we move in, and our final target, the priest, is just on his way down to his cell next to the crypts. So we're just going to wait for him to start descending the stairs, and then we are going to follow him down. So there he goes now. He is moving quite slowly, so we are going to have to keep a safe distance, although we aren't actually trespassing, which is surprising to me, as I am a well-armed goon in the house of God. So once the priest makes it all the way down to his cell, we're going to let him open the door, and then we're going to render him unconscious, and then follow him inside. We're going to retrieve our propane cylinder, and we're just going to drop that on the floor. We want to throw it so that it starts leaking just by the priest, and as we are here and opportunity has presented itself, we're going to take out the cameras, although that horse has already bolted. So once that's done, all we have to do now is take one shot at our propane cylinder, and the priest dies in an accident explosion. And that leaves us one more objective, and that is to exit the level as quickly as possible. So there we go, one more featured contract taken care of. It's quite an enjoyable one, this, but usually they are on Sapienza. It is one of the more popular maps. So we're just going to get confirmation all of our targets have been eliminated according to plan, even though the pictures are not loading for some reason. And that will get us our Silent Assassin rating. And again, that was quite an enjoyable one. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.